How Government Handles Conspiracy, Understanding Cass Sunstein's Playbook. In 2008, Cass R. Sunstein and Adrian Vermeulen wrote a white paper for the Obama administration that outlined how the government could tackle conspiracies and what they called crippled epistemology. Basically, the idea that everyday people only have access to limited information, making it tricky for them to know what's really going on. Sunstein's paper is hard to read, filled with thick academic jargon. Still, its message is blunt. Government can, and often does, shape public understanding to control rumors, doubts, and conspiracy theories. Rebut, ignore, or infiltrate. Sunstein tells presidents and policymakers that the government's first choice when faced with conspiracy theories is to decide, should we rebut these claims directly, ignore them, or introduce diverse viewpoints that muddy the waters? The core strategy is cognitive infiltration, an impressive term Sunstein uses for inserting government narratives into public conversations until people can't tell what's true and what's not. Sometimes officials will ignore controversial events or rumors and hope that people forget. Other times, they'll introduce competing explanations using psychological tricks to make the government's version sound like common sense, even if it's just as speculative as any wild conspiracy on the internet. The paper leans on the idea that closed societies like Russia or China see more conspiracies because their governments hide information. But the speaker in the video makes a sharp point. America isn't as open as we think. Through the tactics outlined by Sunstein, our government actively manipulates narratives by controlling what gets shared and what gets censored. From JFK's assassination to September 11th, there's always speculation. When people lose trust and civil liberties, they search for hidden explanations. Sunstein's blueprint tells the government exactly how to handle this, not by sharing real details, but by fighting speculation with informational diversity, injecting new facts, and even hiring outside consultants to do the dirty work. Sunstein's paper also dives into psychological behavior, explaining how conspiracy theories can grow like snowballs, a process called a cascade. One person believes a version of the truth, then a second signs on, and soon a whole group starts repeating it, until polarization locks everyone in their own camp. This can happen with anything from major historical events to debates on issues like abortion. Doublethink is the ability to hold two opposing ideas at once. The government relies on this, letting people believe contradictory explanations, say, supporting women's rights while ignoring the uncomfortable facts about the topic at hand. Because offering too many answers makes people mentally check out. The government has plenty of options. Ban specific ideas, impose fines or taxes, think Alex Jones and misinformation lawsuits, or drown truthers in a sea of counter-speech. Agencies might hire private companies to create bogus debates online, turning real issues like flat earth rumors or fake crises into noisy distractions. The result? Confusion reigns. Real questions stay unanswered. If it gets ugly, they might make dissenters disappear, by law, censorship, or plain pushing them out of public conversation. The internet makes this easier. With platforms like Facebook and Google, a video can vanish worldwide in hours, leaving no trace except on obscure corners of the web. A recurring theme is the silencing of mass audiences. When the New Zealand mosque shooting video spread, every major social network deleted it, punishing anyone who shared or even mentioned it. Today, algorithms and content moderation can strip information before anyone has time to react. Sunstein planned for this. Keep people confused, split into non-truthers and truthers, and split up the groups so nobody unites around a single version of the facts. Government and media experts become trusted sources by default, telling Americans to rely on the World Health Organization or the United Nations Authority, and warning against independent thinking. Schools and policy, dating back to Agenda 21 and other global programs, encourage kids not to question but to follow institutional experts. The video points out that secrets absolutely exist, contrary to Sunstein's suggestion that powerful groups can't keep secrets for long. Government agencies are built on compartmentalized knowledge, blackmail, and the ability to hide behind layers of bureaucracy. The JFK assassination, September 11th, and other watershed moments show how much information is never shared, purposely left ambiguous to fuel endless speculation. Words like counter-misinformation and pluralistic ignorance pepper Sunstein's arguments. Governments often run simultaneous false flags, quick propaganda campaigns, or introduce contradictory stories to scatter public attention. Take population charts. Census and research may fudge the numbers to mislead about demographic trends, using graphs and inconsistent timeframes that few people check. It's misinformation wrapped in the appearance of science. There's no rush. Governments can let rumors fester, then target dissenters long after the fact. The video's example: Alex Jones faced huge fines years after his claims, proof of a strategy to wait out controversies and then silence those who get too popular too fast. The point of all these tricks is not to actually settle conspiracy questions, but rather to create pluralistic ignorance. Citizens stay confused about each other's beliefs. When the population divides, the government can then silence the most controversial voices and let the rest sideline themselves. The authorities aim to separate truthers and non-truthers and further divide the truthers themselves, rendering it nearly impossible to build consensus or demand honest answers. Today's closed society. Despite America's reputation for openness, the government's ability to erase videos, block topics, and punish dissenters reveals the playbook. In today's world, a closed society isn't about walls or censorship alone. It's about making sure no one can know the whole truth. Powerful tools, social media, academic experts, selective declassification are all brought to bear. Whether through ignoring, rebutting, infiltrating, or outright silencing, the system is designed to keep people guessing. Conclusion: navigating conspiracy and truth. The Obama-era Sunstein paper gave officials a roadmap for shaping what Americans are allowed to ask, see, or say about significant events. The strategies: ignore, rebut, introduce counter-narratives, hire outside voices, divide the audience, punish dissent, and elevate expert opinion are now everywhere. So how do you find the truth? The lesson: think critically, get uncomfortable, and recognize that polarization, confusion, and censorship are built-in features of the modern information landscape. There's no easy answer, except to keep questioning, never stop connecting the dots, and realize that not knowing is sometimes the only honest place to start.